it is day 5 of our 12 days of Crochetmas. So far we've made a wombat on day 1, a blue-ringed octopus on day 2, a platypus on day 3, and a cockatoo on day 4. So let's open box number 5 and see what we're making today. Ooh, it's this little one. So the hint for today was that today's creature is not a bear. And it looks like today we are making a little koala. And a koala is of course not a bear, it's a marsupial. They actually have fingerprints very similar to humans as well, which I thought was very interesting. Remember to post photos of your finished creatures to the Complicated Knots Discord or on Instagram using the tag #12daysofcrochet to be in with the chance to win a digital copy of all 12 patterns. Okay, so to make your little koala, you're going to need 8-ply 100% acrylic yarn in one main colour, as well as a small amount of white for his eyes and a small amount of black for his nose. You're also going to need a pair of 9mm safety eyes, your 3.5mm hook, pins and needles, some scissors, and some stuffing. Okay, so to make this tiny little koala, we actually have to make his arms first. So the arms that I'm making today have 5 rows of 5 single crochet, meaning that they will meet at the front. You can also work them with just 4 rows of 5 single crochet, which will give you that little bit more of a gap. Okay, so for his arms, we start with a magic ring of 5. And then we work 5 rows of 5 single crochet around, which is a combined total of 25 stitches. (24, 25). And finish off. So there is his first paw, and I am going to just make another one of those now, like so. We're just going to pop them off to one side for a moment. Okay, now onto the main piece of our koala. So we're going to start with a magic ring of 6. We are then going to work an increase into each stitch around to get us up to 12. So that's the top of his head. And then in row 3, we're going to make his little ears. We're going to make his ears using 5 treble crochet clusters. And this is how you do those. You start by yarning over your hook twice, insert your hook into the stitch, yarn over and pull up a loop. You should have 4 on your hook. We're going to yarn over and pull through the first 2 loops, yarn over and pull through the second 2 loops, and then stop. So we haven't quite finished that first triple crochet. Then we're going to repeat that little stub 4 more times into the same stitch. So yarning over twice, inserting and yarning over, yarn over and pull through the first 2, yarn over and pull through the next 2. There is our second one. I've got 3 more to do. And each one will add an additional loop to your hook. So you can see my 5 little stubs there, leaving me with 6 loops on my hook in total. I'm then going to yarn over and pull through all 6 loops, popping it outwards, and then locking it in with a chain. So there is his first ear. You may need to shift it to one side to be able to find the next stitch we need to work into, which is just the next one around. And we're going to work 4 single crochet. And then in the next stitch, we're going to be working his second ear. So that is another 5 treble crochet cluster. And there it is. We're then going to just work 6 single crochet around back to our starting point. There is his little Mickey Mouse ears. Okay, so the first stitch of round 4, we're going to start by working an increase into our cluster stitch, and then 4 single crochet across to the second ear, an increase into that second cluster, and then 6 single crochet back around to our starting point. should stop and count at this point and make sure you have 14 stitches in your round. So row 5 starts with 2 increases, 4 single crochet, two increases, and then once again 6 single crochet back to our starting point. So you should now be up to 18 stitches around, which brings us to row 6. So row 6 starts with a single crochet 3 together. So that's basically just an extended decrease, and I work mine the invisible way. So what that means is I'm just going to pick up the front loop of the next 3 stitches, yarn over and pull through all 3 to pull up a loop, and then yarn over and pull through both loops to finish off my decrease. I'm then going to work a single crochet, 4 increases, a single crochet, then another single crochet 3 together, a single crochet, a decrease, a single crochet, and a decrease. So that is his head locked in, and from here we're extending out to form his tiny little bulb of a body. So row 7 starts with 4 single crochet around, an increase, 3 single crochet, an increase, and then 7 single crochet back to start. So you'll note that row will take our body off on a slight angle. That's because we don't want our koala facing frontwards. When he clings to a tree, he needs to be able to peek around it. So at this point, we are going to stop and insert his eyes. So one thing to note about this is that starting magic ring is the top of his head, not the front of his face. And then your active loop is on the front of him. This is at the back and this is at the front. We're going to insert our eyes into row 4. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. And you should loosely position them on either side of the face with 1 to 2 stitches visible in between them. And now I'm just going, and then I'm going to just snap my backs on. Like so. So in the next row, we're going to be attaching his arms. So make sure you have them handy. So we're going to start by working a decrease and then grab our first arm. Now, if you look down at your arm, you should be able to see 5 stitches around its opening. We are going to attach the arm using 3 of those stitches in this row, and it doesn't matter which 3 you pick because the arm is the same the whole way round. So I'm going to lay my arm against my koala, insert my hook from the inside of the arm to the outside of it through any one of the stitches, and then through the next stitch of the koala body as well. And I'm going to work 3 single crochet that way. So through 1 stitch of the arm and then 1 stitch of the body. I'm then going back to working just through the koala's body, and we're going to work 6 single crochet around. And we're going to do the same thing. So grabbing the arm, lining it up with the next stitch of the koala, and then working 3 stitches through 1 layer of the arm and 1 layer of the body. I'm then going to work 2 decreases to finish off our round. Now, I know that these look kind of silly at the moment, hey! But once we work our next row and we fasten them down, they'll form that little grabby position that koalas are so known for. It brings us to row 9. So row 9 starts with an increase. So that brings us to the arm. Now, instead of working into the 3 stitches that we used to attach the arm, we're going to work into the 2 stitches that we've actually left free on the arm. So I'm going to start by working a single crochet into the first one of the arm, and then an increase into the second available stitch on the arm. So skipping the 3 stitches we used to attach the arm in the last row, and back to working in the koala's body. I'm going to work a single crochet and 4 increases, and then a single crochet, which brings us around to our second arm. So once again, you want to identify the 2 stitches we didn't work into, and in the first one, we're going to work an increase. And then in the second, we're going to work a single crochet. Then once again, back to working into the stitches of the koala's body. We're going to work 2 single crochet to finish our round. So at the end of row 9, you should have 20 stitches available in your round. And in row 10, we're just going to put a single crochet into each of them. Which brings us to row 11. Now in row 11, we're going to form his back feet. So we start by working 3 single crochet. And then we're going to work a 5 double crochet cluster into the next stitch. So with the ears, we used triple crochet. For the feet, we're using double crochet. So they're otherwise formed exactly the same. You yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over and pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through the first 2 loops. So that's our double crochet kind of stub, and we're going to work 4 more of those into the same stitch, each one adding an additional loop to our hook. So you should have 6 loops on your hook by the time you've got your 5 stubs. Yarn over and pull through all of those loops, and then chain 1 to lock it in. So there is his first back foot. We're then going to work 13 single crochet around his booty to get to where we want his second back foot to be. So there we go. And work a second 5 double crochet cluster to form his second foot. We then have just 2 single crochet to finish the round. So row 12 starts with 2 repeats of a single crochet and then a decrease. So there's our first one. And for the second repeat, the single crochet falls into the cluster stitch, and then the decrease falls into the 2 stitches after it. So that's our 2 repeats done. We're then going to work a single crochet, then we're going to single crochet 3 together, a single crochet 3 together, and then we have 2 more repeats of a single crochet and a decrease. So once again, there is our first repeat, and for the second repeat, a single crochet falls into the cluster stitch, and the decrease falls into the 2 stitches after it. At this point, you should stop and check that you have 12 stitches remaining in your round. We have just 1 row left to go, and we're actually going to stop and stuff our little finger puppet at this point. And look, I know that these arms look horrifying at this point, but please just trust me. And you're going to stuff him quite firmly. So now we have just 1 row left to work, and that is 6 decreases around. And finish off. So that does leave us with this little opening with 6 stitches around at the bottom. And I'm just going to take my remaining tail and pull it through the front loops of each of those 6 stitches. And pull it tight to close. Tuck that end away inside. So now we have a few little tweaks to do to finalize our koala. And we're going to start by stitching on his nose. So I've got just a little bit of black on my needle here. Now you should use your crochet stitches to help you space these out. The nose starts level with the top of the eyes, and it should be 1 stitch wide and 2 rows long. Trim off any excess and tuck your ends away. Then I'm going to use a little bit of white to stitch on the whites of his eyes. So that just involves getting as close to the eye as possible. If you imagine that the eye itself is a clock, I'm going to stitch from 1 through to 6, then across and go from 6 up to 11. You may need to squash his face back into shape after that, give his ears a little squeeze to get them standing up again. And last but not least, we're going to fix what's going on with these arms. So I'm just going to grab them and flatten them around the front of the body And you can use a pin to hold these in place, or you can just stitch them straight down. Then I've just threaded my needle with a little bit more of the peach that I've used to make the koala, and I'm just going to sew those 2 paws down against the body. And once again, trim off any ends. So there is our finished koala. So that's it for today. I hope you had fun making him with me. Your hint for tomorrow is, as of August 2020, there were 240 known species of this animal in Australia. Put your guesses in the comments. Okay, bye!